Thank you so much for joining me today. How you guys doing? Why Germany annoys American tourists so much? Curious title there. Certainly a little bit provocative. I'm intrigued. Walter's World. YouTube legend. You already know him, but check him out. Link down below. Let's see. Why are the Americans throwing a fit about Germany? Look at this place. How could you throw a fit? Look at it. Okay.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in Bamberg, Germany, my favorite city to come visit in Germany.
He's always in freaking Bamberg.
And we're back to help.
You know what? If that is good enough for Walter, then I feel like it must be an excellent place to visit. Like, I'm writing that down. When I visit Germany, I need to go to Bamberg, apparently.
Our German friends know what is it that annoys American tourists when they come here to Germany. And I want to start with the toilet issue, and that is having to pay to use the public toilet.
Oh, you know what's funny about that thing? I always thought it was funny how it's like, you would think America would be the place that makes you pay to use a toilet, and that in Europe it would be free. You know? Just like on the surface, just like I feel like that would be more consistent culturally. Like nothing's free here in America. You gotta pay to use the toilet. Which is also odd because then like Europeans will, and I mean that's you guys, but you'll like they justify, you know, oh you should need to pay to use the toilet. And it's interesting. It's like, oh, you kind of sound like you almost sound like an American talking about something. But anyway, I just find that sort of funny.
Now, we appreciate the Toilettenfrauen. They keep it clean because the bathrooms here in Germany are super clean.
See, I guess that's the main justification. The money helps to maintain it. And sometimes here in America, you will find a dirty bathroom at like a gas station. If it's like a restaurant, it's not going to be dirty unless it's a shitty restaurant.
Clean, but it's one of those things that people don't know that they need to pay for the toilet. So it really upsets them when they go down to go, and they've really got to go, but I don't have 50 cents or a euro 50.
A euro 50? Yeah, I was going to say, the other thing is, I'm a real cheap ass, and a euro is like, I mean, it's a little steep. A euro to pee? Dude, I pee a lot. I pee a lot. Sometimes, especially if I'm drinking beer. My God. Once you break the seal, I mean, I could be peeing every like 15 minutes. A euro every 15 minutes, that's going to cut into my beer funds. Now, do you have to pay even if you're at like a beer garden? If you're just going to the bathroom over and over? You have to pay every time?
I gotta go scrounge up and find some coins, especially when everything they're trying to do is everything tap and go now. So that's one thing that really annoys them, is the pay to pee kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that would be a little bit annoying.
Another thing, the second thing that annoys them is when they go out to eat. Here, Americans, we love to eat. We love the service side of going out to eat and the experience and all kinds of stuff. And the server's coming back and we chit chat, and it's a game in America where we kind of talk back and forth and the tips and all kinds of stuff, right? That's how we roll. But
I never thought of it like a game, but okay, yeah, that makes sense. He's right.
When Americans come to Germany, they get a little upset because they really need to make sure they have their entire order ready the first time the waiter comes by. It's like, I've only had my menu for a minute. I can't read all these things here. What am I going to do? Could you come back in a second? And of course, the German waiters and waitresses are super professional, okay? And they say, yes, of course. We'll give you plenty of time. I can give you some recommendations, you know, before I go, and they'll help you out, and then they'll leave. And then you figure out what you want. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes goes by. You're like, where are they? I mean,
this is quite fascinating. This is a particular aspect of the service that I've never heard about. Like, that's a super foreign concept to me. You have to know your order? What? How would you know what to eat just immediately? If you're a regular, then yeah, of course you do. I'm sure you do.
my American friends, we must realize when the waiters come, have your order ready so you can order your drink, your appetizer.
That's a great tip, though. Just you gotta be quick. You gotta be on the ball. You gotta start looking at the menu immediately.
And your main meal, because they don't always come around. And believe me, as much as you stare at them trying to get their eye contact and wave, They don't see you.
You know, maybe this is the positive aspect of tipping culture is that here in America, trust me, if you want to order something, the waiter will appear. They will teleport to you the second you get the look on your face that you might want to order something, because it means they're going to get tipped more, essentially. You know, effectively, the higher the bill, it correlates to a higher tip, you know? So they're ready right there for you. Yes, please. What do you want? Anything. Yes. Right away, sir. Which can be nice. Now, the annoying part is that they don't leave you alone. See, that's the flip side. The part that's annoying as hell to me here in America is when they're trying to sell you stuff. That's annoying as hell to me. And, ooh, the worst waiters will even trick you. Ooh. But trust me, that doesn't work on me. Because if you trick me into, you know, they say, oh, do you want sour cream on there? They don't tell you that's $3 extra. If they do that, and they don't disclose this type of stuff, they kind of trick you, mislead you into buying more food to try to up their tip. That's a 0 tip from me. You just shot yourself in the foot. 0 tip. Anyway, sorry, that was super random, but
Get their eye contact and wave. 9. They don't see you. they don't.
well, it's German, the German stare, right? According to that one video I watched, everybody's staring anyway. How are you supposed to know? Nobody knows, you know, you're staring at them. They're just like, hey, it's Germany. They're used to it.
See you. I'm sorry. They'll be like, is that dude a little crazy over there? I think he's got something wrong over there. What's with those American tourists, right? So that's something to think about. And I think another thing that kind of annoys Americans when they come to Germany is the service. And it's not the professionalness, because that's one thing I got to say. Service in Germany is super professional. If you're getting clothes and you need help with a size or a color, they will be helpful with that in a professional way, okay? Not the over-the-top American way. And I think that's one thing
I kind of like that.
Americans don't realize is you don't have the over-the-top service here. And so that's why they're kind of like annoyed that there isn't the over-the-top, the customer's always right kind of mentality that there is in the U.S. a lot of places, okay?
The customer's always right. That is a phrase that used to get parroted over and over here in America. I feel like it's starting to die, interestingly enough. Mostly thanks to social media, I think. You know, you get all these videos of like ridiculous customers, and it's like the customer's not always right, which of course is true. But that phrase, that idea, the customer is always right, was like the cornerstone of why American service was so over the top. You know, it's the customer's always right. Whatever you want, sir. Yes.
So I'm not saying these annoyances are wrong or right. I'm just letting you know these are things that your American friends might be like, Germany, I love it so much, but there's a few things, right? Now, another one that'll get them, especially if they're going to the Christmas markets, is the fund. The deposit on
I have no problem with that.
glass.
Like, I've never experienced it, but I don't see an issue with that. Who cares about a deposit? You get it back. You know, it makes actual perfect sense.
Let's say I'm taking my family
like
of
it.
4, and we're getting 2 hot wines and 2 Kinderpunches. That's 4 mugs, and it's €5 each. So I give them a €20, and they're like, oh, no. That's not €20. That's going to be €32. Like, wait, €32? Why? Oh, because there's a €4 fund deposit on each one of the glasses. And all of a sudden, you're like, I only brought a 20 up here. No.
Okay, that is a good tip. That is a good tip. That would definitely, especially if it's cash only, that's a great thing to keep in mind. But the reason I like the fond so much is because just like economically, essentially, if there is no fund, then you know you're kind of subsidizing people who are going to steal the mug. You know what I mean? You're having to pay, even if it's only 5% more. You're paying 5% more on the price because the business has to factor in the fact that 1 out of 20 people is going to steal the mug. In Germany, you do the deposit. You do the fund. I like that. That way I'm not subsidizing a thief. You know what I mean?
I got to go back to my wife. I'm sorry, Jocelyn, could I have more money? Because they need the deposit back. And that kind of annoys them. You might see it at beer gardens as well. But here's the thing, my American friends, it does annoy us, right? But just take it back when you're done and you get your money back. They're really cool like that, okay? Now, another thing
Oh,
that
I would hope so.
annoys not just American tourists, but a lot of tourists when they come here to Germany is when you take public transportation, how the Germans like bum rush the entrance and exit of the train, the subway, the bus. It's like, could I get out of the train first before 50 people try to come in? I mean, you can't wait for the train to stop and then get up from your seat and go to the thing because people are already coming in. You've got to be at the door, ready to go, kind of like, I got my bags, now let's go. And that's one of those things that really gets Americans. They're like, why are they shoving us? We're just trying to get off the train. We're giving them space on the train. What's going on? So, yeah, my German friends, they do kind of find that a bit annoying.
I think he meant his American friends. But unless he's talking about the Americans talking to the German friends, and the Germans find it annoying that the Americans are complaining. But anyway, it is interesting. It is interesting. You know, that's just like a cultural difference, I guess. Like Americans would just take that personally. You know, like, whoa, like, why are you running in front? Like, I'm trying to get off. Like, let me off. It's rude. In America, that would be considered rude. I mean, I've never been on a train. I've said that a million times. Someone commented, they're like, was that not a train? I heard a train in the background. Like, yeah, that's a freight train. There's some train tracks near my house. It's not a passenger train. I've never been on a train. But, you know, the same thing applies to like an elevator. You know, you let the people off and then you get on. And if you don't do that, yeah, people are going to think you're very rude here in America. So I could see how, if you're not ready for that, if you're not aware, you'd be like, I'm offended.
And I guess that kind of goes in with the next thing that bothers American tourists and also British tourists, and that is the non-existent line culture here in Germany.
What? This was not expected at all. Out of all the culture shocks and everything I've watched for years, I've never heard this. Lack of a line? Of any culture ever in history on the planet right now, I would think Germans want a structured line. I can't believe that.
I mean, you know, other places people wait in line. I'll wait for my turn, then I'm next. I've been here the longest time. I'll go first. People kind of have that. Even in the U.S., if it's not necessarily a straight line, everyone knows who came first, who you're after.
Yeah, you even say, you say, even if the cashier looks at you, says, can I help you? You say, they were here before me.
In Germany, oh, no. The hotel I'm at now, they don't have check-in until 3. I have my bags and my suitcase and my mom and dad's suitcase. I got all that stuff by the door, so when it opens up, I can be first. And I'm standing right next to it. Like I'm standing like right here, and here's the door. Guy comes in, is trying to get in. It's like, oh, it's not there. And then he like stands in front of the door. I'm like, dude, I've been here for 45 minutes. There is no way you were going to get in before me. It's not happening. But in Germany, like, oh, you were waiting here? And you'll see it in line, whether you're like at a government agency or you're trying to buy something. If you're not like right up on the next person, someone will like come step in. Oh, I didn't realize you were in a line there. I mean, it drives tourists crazy.
Oh, wow. So you guys do respect the line, but it actually might be that you guys are so orderly. If someone's not right where they should be to be in the line, you're kind of like, they're not in line. You know, like they must not be in line. They're not right there, so they're not in line, you know. Wow, interesting.
The German line culture. All right, another thing that annoys Americans when they come to Germany is this. The crack in the bed. What's going on here?
What is the point of that?
Is it two beds just pushed together?
The only reason you see this here in America is if they're the beds that go up and down, you know, electrically. Bzz, bzz, bzz. And so each person can independently raise and lower their bed, you know? Apart from that, you never see this.
Yes, actually it is. And if you're not careful, like this bed, it's actually set up to put the two single beds in there. But if you're in a normal kind of hotel room and they're just two beds pushed together, they separate. Yes, this is.
You don't even, like, they don't even bolt them together. That's just kind of, I don't know, like, surprisingly a little bit sounds impractical. Like, why not just bolt them together?
It's annoying a few Americans because they like to have
I guess it would make it hard to make the bed.
2.5 kids per couple. And in Germany, I know the birth rate's a lot lower. So maybe that explains it. I don't know. But this is one thing that I do hear people go like,
Wait, was that a, what?
2.5. Yes, this does annoy a few Americans because they like to have 2.5 kids per couple. And in Germany, I know the birth rate's a lot lower. So maybe that explains it.
I think he's being funny. This is, okay.
I don't know, but this is one thing that I do hear people go like, I lost my child, I lost my dad, I lost someone in the crack when it comes to the bed. So just one of the
What? How would they fall through that crack? I'm confused. Because the beds push apart?
those little annoyances I thought it would be a good idea to mention. And another culture I want to talk about is the Hallo culture. Yes, the Hallo culture. For those who don't know, Hallo, it means hello. But when you say Hallo, that is a German's way of saying, hey, dum-dum, you're doing something wrong. Or
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. That's funny. That's funny.
not by the rules, so straighten up. And you, as someone that's not from Germany, might not know those rules. And so it kind of puts you off because it's like, wait, oh, I didn't know. Why are they doing this? And so it's that kind of little bit of Karen DNA that's in Germans to make sure people are following the rules with that Hallo culture. So do know that sometimes the American tourists don't understand.
Man, it's so interesting because that's just so opposed to American culture. I could see that one. Like for instance, I'm just being honest. If that happened to me, if I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, and some guy was like, "Hello," like, "You're supposed to be over there, or get out of the way." Hello. I wouldn't like that. But I guess that's the point. You're not supposed to like it. Are you supposed to want to punch them though? See, that's kind of the American. Maybe that's like a. Americans are just like violent, you know? Like, I feel like if you did that in America, you might get punched.
That, so therefore they take it the wrong way. They don't know why you're yelling at them. Okay, so do be aware of that. And I will say this is another thing that annoys not just American tourists, but when I talk to tourists from around the world, when it comes to Germany, it's kind of the how do I say this? Germans' passive-aggressive superiority complex. And the thing is, Germans,
Passive-aggressive helpfulness.
I mean, they're smart people. They're smart people all over the world. But Germans have a certain thing like, we are Germans, we know the best, we're going to do what's best, we're going to do our research, we're going to know what's going to be right. And sometimes how they try to help you comes off wrong, right? And that's where American tourists and other tourists get upset. They're like, yes, I already know this, you don't have to tell me again. But the Germans are trying to help you by voicing and vocalizing the advice they would want to have. So they're just trying to be helpful, but it comes off as kind of a passive-aggressive kind of thing. But it's not really meant to be. That's just how they are, okay?
Like condescending? Is that what? I almost need an example.
So that's one of those really kind of, you live here long enough, you kind of understand how they work. I mean, I lived here for 2.5 years. I visited literally every year from 1996. COVID, I missed a year, and then I've been back ever since, right? Because I love coming here, yeah? So ich kann schon Deutsch, ich liebe Deutschland, es ist ein super Staat, es ist ein super Land, yeah. But,
That really says something to me. The fact that Walter, because like I said, he goes all over. And he's always back in Bamberg or in Germany somewhere. He freaking loves the culture. Which is, I mean, I guess I reiterate that because obviously this is like negative in a way about Germany, but even though it's not really so much negative, it's more so like misunderstandings and more so just like incompatibilities with American culture, which isn't negative. It's just what it is. But he freaking loves German culture.
Yeah, there are things that annoy people. I think another thing for American tourists, which is kind of like disappointing for them, is the no shopping on Sunday thing. Yeah, Americans really like to go shopping.
Americans are the ultimate consumer. They can't fathom this. No shopping. What am I supposed to do?
Shopping on Sunday. It's a really big deal for them. I didn't realize what it was. I mean, I lived abroad for 12 years, a lot of it here in Germany, and I was amazed. So I go home, and when people come visit me, they're like, "Wait, we can't."
Yeah, this is also beautiful.
Go shopping on Sunday? Like, what's going on? We have to go to the train station to shop on a Sunday? Like, yeah, they have the day off. It's normal. Think like Chick-fil-A. They give their people the Sunday off.
That's true. Chick-fil-A is closed. It's just so upsetting. Without fail, every Sunday I'm like, you know where I want to eat? Chick-fil-A.
Go spend some time with your family. Go do something else. But don't go shopping. So that's another thing that I think that kind of annoys American tourists when they come here. And the thing is, these are just fun little annoyances that I want to kind of help share cultural experiences for tourists coming to Germany, but also for Germans to understand when you might see a frustrated tourist from the US or other places and where it's coming from. So I hope this helps. What are some things that frustrated you as a tourist when you came down here?
I mean, at the end of the day, the tourist is in your country. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I mean, it is good to understand, but at the end of the day, it's like, sorry.
And remember, in Germany, you don't really point like this. A lot of people, because they decide it's cool. But tell me, what are some of those little...
Wait, what?
In Germany, you don't really point like this. A lot of people, because they don't...
Is he saying you shouldn't point at people in Germany? Yeah, and that's considered rude here in America, too. You don't point at people. Oh, that guy, you know, look at that guy. He's pretty fat.
Decide it's cool, but tell me, what are some of those little annoyances you had when you came here to Germany, and what are some of the great things too? Because yes, we do have a video on what are the things Americans fawn over when they talk about Germany. You know, like the Fachwerk and the Christmas markets and the fantastic beer and the beer gardens, the beer halls. I think I'm going to get a drink to celebrate how much I love this country. See you next.
Oh man, you all love Walter. I'm jealous of Walter. He just goes around, makes awesome videos, drinks some beer. What a legend. Anyway, that was fun. That was fun. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.